A nation stunned. The assassination attempt on former President Trump. The image is seared into the nation's memory. A chaotic scene in Butler, Pennsylvania, the echo of gunshots, and a nation holding its breath. It was a day that began like any other campaign rally for former President Donald Trump, filled with fervent supporters and the anticipation of a fiery speech. However, it descended into chaos and fear as gunshots rang out, piercing the air and signaling a direct attack on the former president. Thomas Matthew Crooks, a name forever etched in the annals of history, emerged from the crowd, his weapon aimed at the former president. The Secret Service reacted swiftly, their training kicking in as they formed a protective barrier around Trump. The rally, once a sea of cheering supporters, transformed into a scene of panic and confusion. The attack served as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of even the most heavily guarded figures, leaving the nation grappling with the question, how could this happen?
In the aftermath of the attack, a storm of questions arose, the most pressing being, how did the gunman penetrate the layers of security surrounding a former president? Initial reports indicated a string of security lapses, raising concerns about the adequacy of the protection detail assigned to former President Trump. Witnesses reported seeing Crooks lurking near the rally for hours before the attack, raising red flags about the Secret Service's vigilance. Reports also emerged of miscommunication between the Secret Service and local law enforcement, further fueling concerns about the effectiveness of the security operation. The fact that Crooks, armed and dangerous, managed to get within feet of the former president exposed glaring vulnerabilities in the security apparatus. It ignited a national conversation about the need for enhanced security measures, improved intelligence gathering, and greater coordination between law enforcement agencies at all levels.
As investigators delved into the life of Thomas Matthew Crooks, a picture emerged of a deeply troubled individual, consumed by paranoia and increasingly detached from reality. Crooks, a former nursing home worker with no prior criminal record, was described by neighbors and acquaintances as a loner, often seen muttering to himself and displaying erratic behavior. Interviews with family members and those who knew him painted a disturbing picture of Crooks's descent into mental illness. His family revealed a history of mental health issues, including diagnosed paranoia and schizophrenia, for which Crooks had reportedly refused treatment. Crooks's social media accounts were littered with hateful rhetoric and violent imagery, suggesting a growing resentment towards the former president and his administration. The portrait of Thomas Matthew Crooks that emerged was one of a troubled mind, consumed by paranoia and driven to violence by a toxic mix of mental illness, online radicalization, and a deep-seated hatred for the former president. The attempted assassination sent shockwaves through the political landscape, eliciting a torrent of reactions from across the political spectrum. Politicians from both sides of the aisle condemned the attack, expressing relief at Trump's survival and calling for unity in the face of violence. However, the incident also ignited a firestorm of debate about the role of inflammatory rhetoric in inciting violence. Critics accused Trump's political opponents of fueling a climate of hatred and division, creating an environment where violence against political figures seemed increasingly acceptable. They pointed to the vitriolic attacks on Trump, both online and in the media, as contributing factors to the toxic political climate. Trump's supporters, on the other hand, rallied around the former president, portraying him as a victim of a politically motivated attack. The incident further deepened the partisan divide, with each side blaming the other for the toxic political climate. Section 5. Trump. Unshaken and ready to fight another day. In the face of danger, former President Trump remained defiant, his spirit unbroken by the attempt on his life. Emerging from the incident physically unscathed, Trump appeared eager to project an image of strength and resilience, both to his supporters and his detractors. Addressing the nation from the Oval Office, Trump appeared calm and composed, his voice betraying no hint of fear or vulnerability. He thanked the Secret Service for their swift action, praising their courage and professionalism in the face of danger. While acknowledging the gravity of the situation, Trump used the opportunity to reiterate his commitment to his supporters and his agenda. The assassination attempt, he declared, would not deter him from continuing his fight for the American people. His defiance resonated with his base, who saw in him a fighter unwilling to back down in the face of adversity. Section 6. Unraveling the motive, the ongoing investigation. As the nation reeled from the shock of the assassination attempt, law enforcement agencies launched a full-scale investigation determined to uncover the motivations behind Thomas Matthew Crooks's actions. The FBI, leading the investigation, treated the incident as a potential act of domestic terrorism, exploring every facet of Crooks's life to determine what drove him to violence. Investigators meticulously combed through Crooks's online activity, poring over his social media posts, browsing history and online communications. They subpoenaed his financial records, searching for any unusual transactions or connections to extremist groups. Forensic experts analyzed his computer and cell phone, piecing together his digital footprint to uncover any clues that might shed light on his radicalization. Interviews with Crooks's family, friends, and acquaintances formed a crucial part of the investigation, as investigators sought to build a comprehensive profile of the shooter. The investigation aimed to answer the question, what drove Thomas Matthew Crooks to attempt the assassination of a former president? Section 7. A nation divided public and media response to the shooting. The assassination attempt on former President Trump exposed the raw nerves of a nation deeply divided along political, ideological, and cultural lines. The incident ignited a firestorm of debate, with commentators and citizens alike grappling with the implications of the attack and its potential consequences. The media, reflecting the nation's polarization, offered a kaleidoscope of perspectives on the event. Some outlets focused on the security failures that allowed the gunman to get so close to the former president, questioning the Secret Service's competence and calling for a thorough review of security protocols. Others delved into the shooter's background, highlighting his mental health issues and exploring the role of online radicalization in fueling his actions. The incident also reignited the debate over gun control, with advocates for stricter gun laws calling for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. The online discourse, a reflection of the offline divide, often devolved into bitter accusations and personal attacks, highlighting the deep fissures within American society. Section 8. Lessons learned, rethinking security protocols in a volatile world. The attempted assassination of former President Trump exposed vulnerabilities in existing security protocols. The Secret Service faced intense scrutiny, prompting a reassessment of security measures. Intelligence gathering and threat assessment became crucial in preventing future attacks. Law enforcement agencies pledged to enhance efforts to identify and monitor potential threats.